You're watching Channel 1, a multilingual channel. Browse through the playlist for your preferred language, and you're watching the gardening series. Warm welcome to you wherever you are in the world. Let's join Romilo at his garden. Welcome to our gardening series. Thank you for joining Romilo here, your uncle and kuya in Holland, for this episode. We have just a few tasks to do. Just make sure that everything is okay before I leave for the Philippines the next weekend. I'll be leaving my garden for 2 weeks, but thanks to my Ate Grace, my neighbor here, you might want to join me, Ate Grace. She will be taking care of my plants. She will look after my plants. And for the seedlings at home, it will be my cameraman who will be coming over to look after them. Again, thank you for joining me. And let's do some tasks. We'll be planting ampalaya, bitter gourd, and what else? I'll be showing you the blooming of the apples and of the pear trees, and the progress of the peas. Again, this is the second week of April, and there are very cute and beautiful things in development, or plants or even flowers that are budding at this time. First, look at that. Beautiful tulips. Beautiful tulips. And here, let's go to the fruit department. These are lovely blossoms. They're beginning to bud. Blossoms of pears. Pear tree. Another here. Next on this row. Blossoming, also beginning to blossom to be exact. These are apple blossoms. Another apple blossom here. And if you remember, 2 weeks ago, we transplanted our peas. They look good. Look good. And if you are wondering what are these plastics here, they are actually covering the seeds, or the beans or the seeds, I should say, that are directly sowed into the ground. They're beginning to sprout, if you notice. Yeah, look at it. Look at that. Peas or chicharo. And I don't know why I had this fascination for climbing plants, and this is the Clematis Henry. It tolerates shade or shadows, or shadow area, I should say. That's why I put it here under the pergola. Let's take a shot from a distance, I should say, to give you a better view of the pergola. That's the pergola. And this is the pond now. The aquatic plants are beginning to get green. I think I'll be pruning the, how are they called, reeds there. For those who joined me earlier at the ironing session, welcome back. Thank you. Today is the week 2 of, is it a week 2 even? It's the 6th of April, and there are tasks to be done at the garden. I'll be flying next weekend, so I have some tasks I have plans to be leaving behind, so they should be settled before I leave. I have here 2 ampalaya. It's still too early to, 2 ampalayas, I should say, 2 ampalaya seedlings. It's still too early to plant them. They are expected to be into the ground around end of May, but I'd like to experiment with this. I have reserved seedlings at home. I'd like to check whether they can survive these low temperatures that we still are experiencing. The other night it was minus 2.8, roughly minus 3 degrees centigrade. But they are protected. It's inside the polytunnel. I'll be planting this. Let's try if they can survive, or if we can plant them a month earlier than usual. The rest will be planting around May, when the rest of frost is null or nil. Cow dung that I've collected earlier. It's good to augment the soil with manure, animal manure. The conditions are not ideal, but this is an experiment. If you want to see, or if you want to follow what happens to this ampalaya exposed to extreme cold temperatures, don't forget to subscribe and follow or watch the succeeding episodes here on Channel 1, the gardening series. I'll be touching the camera later with these gloves, having held cow manure. I think it's good to bring these materials out for now. Too lazy. And this is the table where I put the seedlings. Let's have a what's the word? I'm tired. These are the tomatoes that I have started very early. They're not very encouraging. These are, I don't know what are these. Flowers. Oh, I remember laurel. Laurel. That's an onion. These are sunflowers, and the rest here are the dahlias that we divided a week ago. And here on the ground are everlasting seedlings. Lots of them. Thank you for joining your kuya here in his garden today. It's the first weekend of April. I really appreciate it. Don't go away, because for the next episode, just click after this clip, you'll be watching our making of kale, stir-fry kale with sardines in our cooking series. Thank you very much, and see you next time. Howdo!